or from a scholar's point of view. And number one, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Chairman Budget Committee, Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, for the great work that he has done on this supplementary budget, and also members of the Budget Committee. Number two, Mr. Speaker, the essence of creating a budget is for money to flow in the economy. And the shortest and the best way to grow an economy, Mr. Speaker, is to inject more money into the system. And that is through a budget, Mr. Speaker. We remember, Mr. Speaker, during the Great Depression in the United States of America, and at this point I would like members to keenly listen to me. Those who are walking, please sit down and listen to this information. Mr. Speaker, during the Great Depression, that the economy of this world, the global economy, the American economy was being assaulted, and it is considered as the greatest downturn that almost brought the United States of America's economy to its knees. During the leadership of the then President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Mr. Speaker, the causes of this depression, number one, was the crash into the stock market, and number two, the collapse of the banks. And in such a way that in 1933, Mr. Speaker, there was 25% rate of unemployment in the United States, followed by over 5,000 banks collapsing. Mr. Speaker, what was the solution to this? There was the great researcher and an economist from the Great Britain that I love referring to. Mr. Speaker, he was consulted, and his name is John Maynard Keynes. Keynes was born in 1883 and died in 1946. Mr. Speaker, Keynes came up with a theory called the Keynesian theory. That, I know Mheshimiwa Shakil is not understanding what I'm saying, so he's saying that's all. There's nothing you can say because you have, okay, be there with your liquid intelligence. Mr. Speaker, now the Keynesian theory stated clearly. Mr. Speaker, John Maynard Keynes came up with a theory called the Keynesian theory that advised that we inject more money into the economy, as we are doing now through the budget. And injecting more money into the economy means you are creating more demand, because if a common man in Soweto, in Embakasi East constituency, has money in his pockets, this man will go and do shopping, will spend. That is called the trickle-down effect, because it is coming from up, not bottom up. That is, now, Mr. Speaker, when there is more money into the pockets of the people, people will spend more. And as people spend more, Mr. Speaker, the demand increases. With an increment in demand, there will be an increment in supply. Or rather, if you like to put it, with an aggregate increment in the aggregate demand, there will be a simultaneous aggregate increment in the aggregate supply. And when the two meet, as economists will tell you, you create what we call the macroeconomic equilibrium. Mr. Speaker, I support this budget with all my body parts and organs. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. But allow me, Honorable Speaker, as I congratulate the Honorable Babu for the good performance, to also correct him that what he was describing is called bottom-up economic model, not trickle-down. I know he may have a problem with bottom-up, and I also want to encourage the Honorable Babu that indeed now is when you are doing what you ought to be doing. Speaking to issues economics, and not in any way, and we should not allow any leader in this country in any way to sabotage that economic recovery trajectory that we have begun this year. and therefore encourage the Honorable Babu Owino to join the rest of the country as eloquently as he has submitted on the bottom-up economic model, to eloquently do the same out there, not just in the House. Also, as you speak in rallies, let us speak towards economic recovery. Honorable Speaker, I also rise to